Hey, it looks like I'm here. I don't know what it's doing. It's doing some weird stuff. But we're going to try and get the the live stream in sync with what's going on, guys. In the description, I will be sure to put the actual start time for people that come in later and want to jump right to it.
Shady silhouetted images and industry teasers are finding their way into our homes and invading our minds. Their calculated information is delivered to feed our addiction for radio-controlled frequencies. It's an RC conspiracy. But we are on your side, cracking the RC code. Because the truth is out there. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast. Get your decoder rings ready and put on those tinfoil hats because your fearless leader is here. Please welcome your host, the lead RC conspiracist, Tony CC. Tony CC. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to another RC Conspiracies. Sorry about the technical difficulties there at the beginning. I noticed in the live feed that what was showing up to you guys wasn't what was showing up in my OBS, which was supposed to be like a thumbnail, but it had me on. So anyway, we got it all working out, I think, now, and we're going to get this thing rolling because today we're going to be talking about a company we used to talk about all the time, and we're talking about HPI Racing. You guys have probably heard of them, right? I think so. But so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about where they are. They've got some like teasers on their website, like change is coming and like change has begun, or I don't remember what it says. We'll see in a second exactly what it said. But they had some teasers and yeah, a little bit excited about that. So hello guys, a bunch of you in the chat. Early on in there we had, who did we have? We had Keith Carchide, Leo Watson, JKC Lawn Care and Landscape, RJ Balloon 89, Beetle Bailey, James Price. How's it going, guys? All Out RC. Sorry, I was a little bit getting started on getting the feed finalized in that because I was over in the 11 Charlie RC podcast, not podcast, the live stream that he was doing. Got podcast stuff on my brain today. So anyway, I was over there, but a lot of you guys are in here. Peter, RC Basher, RC Recreation, Michael Winkle, Rich Holman, tons of you guys. Very, very cool. It says we got 42 of you in there already. That's awesome news, man. So we've got some things to talk about today. First, I want to run through a couple of the little things that we do all the time in here, which is just looking over a few of the things that we've got to talk about. But I was over at the Operation 11 Charlie one, and he has a really cool giveaway thing that he's doing here. It's a raffle for an Outcast, the 10th anniversary edition. So you can go to the GoFundMe to get into that, but pretty cool. It's for veterans and specifically those kind of suffering from some PTSD stuff. And, you know, the thing that he talks about all the time is 22 veterans commit suicide. I think it's every day. And so what they're trying to do is give them an outlet. And it's really cool, guys. So I definitely recommend going checking that out. If you got a little extra money to give, hit them up on that raffle. It's for a really good cause. So what do we got here? We've got T-shirts and stuff like that if you want to support the RC Conspiracies, CCxRC channel. Getting that, not only do you look cooler wearing it, but it also helps promote what we're doing here, and it also helps. There's a little bit of money that We do make off of them, but it's not very much. So that's not the main reason. We do have the podcast you can subscribe to as well. rcconspiracies.com. Go ahead, go over there, hit the subscribe. It's also over on the Apple Podcasts, and it's on Google Podcasts, and coming soon, I think, to Spotify and a couple other places. So I also have another podcast to talk about. It's called While My Batteries Charge. It's a much shorter version. It's not like this. It's like 12 minutes, 10 to 15 minute long. And it's just literally while my batteries are charging, hit record and talk about something going on. Don't want to talk about that too long here because that's not what we're here for. But we do have the RC Conspiracies Facebook page. Lots of you guys have been signing up for that. Really cool. We've got some graphics here that you can drop into meme generators and things like that. I've been doing a bunch of memes with them, and also some GIF stuff that is popping up. Brian Reynolds, really cool. Check this out. He did an alien infraction. Super cool. He's got a video for it here of them driving at night. A Tron car, an alien car. They look super sick at night, guys. You should go and check it out. You can see here he sent a link. It's in the page if you want to look it up for what he used, but it's basically like a reflective tape right here that you can get at eBay. So that's really cool. So here, I saw Basher Boy just jumped in. Look at how much it cost me to send that Glamosphere to Colorado. Egad. $75 for shipping. That's I did pay the insurance on it at that point. So we've got different people pumping in here with conspiracy theories and stuff. One of them was why their stickers never came, and that's more my fault than it is a conspiracy. This we'll talk about a little bit later. The bumper looks cool. So here's one of the gifts you can use and all that. So moving right along to what we've got. Just really quick, that intro, if you guys really like that, I got that on Fiverr. Adrian Stubbs did that. You can pay these guys to do some work for you. The graphics here, I got the drawing of it done. I redid the design work of it because I wanted the layout to be different. But I took the basic idea and reworked it. And then on the other, while my batteries charge, I had who is this guy? Your imaging guy. Do the read for that. It's really good stuff. Over the top, because I just want it to be over the top. So anyway, yeah. So we're gonna move on to HPI. Speaking of HPI, my first RC that I really, really wanted after I got my intro one, which was the Gravedigger Traxxas, you guys know that, it was the Savage Flux XL, and it was all because of, well, the HP, because of RC Sparks. He was doing so much stuff with HPI Savages, and this Hot Wheels one, like the monster truck, was so cool, and he had so many awesome videos, even at his old house. Like this one's at the new house, but he did a lot of HPI stuff at his old house while he was moving to his new location. So I go back, 6 years really, honestly, with RC Sparks. That's when I got into the hobby, was 6 years ago. And since then, and I always wanted one of these, but my hobby shop was like, like they didn't do much with them. They didn't have a whole lot of part support for them, even though they were all over the internet. They did sell one of them, like they had the XS one, the smaller one. But we'll talk about some of the different models that they had out, because I'm sure you guys have had a lot of HPIs, and you've got your ones that are your favorites. So if you do, start listing those in the comments here. I'm going to jump over. I'm not going to play this video because I don't want to do copyright stuff. But yeah, so he definitely is the one that got me interested in HPI. I've had a couple of HPI now. I didn't ever get the one that I wanted. Although Mike Dayton over at our hobby town in Virginia Beach, and well, they own a bunch of them in Virginia, but he races an HPI in the monster truck racing, and he always wins with that thing, and it's always working. It's crazy. Midget Man says that's Everett's. Yes, it is Everett's Hot Wheels one. It was on RC Sparks that I saw it. Kizzle Garrett's here, RC Basher Boy. He's saying the shipping is expensive, but the memories will last a lifetime. Yeah, right, man. I get you. It's all good. Green Frog RC is in the house. Midget Man RC says the 110 Wheelie King. Yes, and so many people use those in the RC Monster Truck Racing, especially in the beginning. But now it doesn't quite compete with like the SMT10. And we actually just over on the Sam Solid Axle Monster Mayhem group, because it's a solid axle truck, we're talking about that in the 2.2 class and what that really was and should be, because so many people are taking their pro mods and they're literally just taking their best truck and sticking smaller tires on it and racing in two different classes, instead of having a class that should be designated for the smaller trucks to run 2.2 tires, like a Wheelie King, like a Sen Racing HL150 or B50, and trucks in that lineup. So that's a whole different discussion, but it's one eventually I would like to have. And I don't know. I mean, that's really among the race groups who gets to decide that, because each group has their own set of rules. But I think they should relook at that. And I know that they're just trying to make it so more people can race more classes, but they've really destroyed, in my opinion, what the 2.2 class could and should be. And it hurts the sellers, because it hurts HPI, it hurts Sen, because their trucks aren't going to compete on the level of the SMT10 or the other shaft-driven trucks that just stick 2.2 tires on them. So that's my rant for just a minute. Midget Man says the intro was dope. That's cool, man. I didn't do it. I just asked for it. I wrote it and all that, and trying to be over the top. True Boys RC is in the house. Tuga RC, Peter RC Basher. Hey, it's Peter. Foundry RC is in the house. I was just wearing a Foundry RC shirt the other day, man. So HPI has had some really cool trucks and cars. The HPI Baja was one of the first of the fifth scale cars to really kind of take off and have like mass market appeal. So there's a lot of other ones. So people are starting to mention different ones that they like, which is cool, because we want to talk about that. Tamia Losi in the RS4, Swampers RC saying in the late 90s he was into four-wheel drive sedan racing. So that's really cool. Tuga has his HPI Savage XL. I don't know who's going to still have some of the chat stuff up, but we'll quickly look and see who's still talking about here. Yeah. RC Propaganda says he has the HPI Scale Builders kit. So yeah, some people definitely have the Ken Block rally cars. They've got like the Hoonigan looking truck, I guess, that came out. I guess it was a Ken Block truck. And there's Midget Man RC. Does anyone compete with the Sen truck? Not right now, because it doesn't really have a class that it fits in that's fair. I'm going to start trying to compete with my Sen in the 2.2 class, and just go for it. And I'm going to leave it with a brushed motor. I think a brushed 2.2 class would be awesome. It gives people a starting point to get into and be able to compete. Midget Man RC, do you still have the Porsche? That's something we'll talk about. No, I do not. That was one of the HPIs that I had. Peter RC Basher says Savage X 4.6. RC Propaganda, the Savage XL. Somebody, Michael Weichel is saying, Weichel, I'm just going to go for it. Michael Weichel is going to say, I hope they will adopt HPI. And I don't know who he's talking about adopting it. But there was a time when Traxxas was in the running in the name for it. And there was a lot of stuff being talked about, and it didn't happen, and then they just kind of disappeared after that point. It was kind of weird. So there's been a little bit of a resurgence I saw, like, especially because it seemed like HPI was trying to push their brand again, and some of the YouTubers were starting to do like the RS4 Sport. I had the Porsche, and so they were doing that, and so we had Hemistorm, we had RC Driver Online, and there's, I think, two other people in their little build-off that they'd done that were pretty cool, and they turned out really cool, and then we haven't heard anything else from that point. Troy's Hobby says, I already did a brushless conversion on his Sen. Check it out on his channel. Yeah, so that's definitely something you can do. They feel pretty quick to me for their size, especially with their their wheelbase and the width that they have right now, they're pretty crazy on that. That brushed motor is super fast for a brushed motor, in my opinion. But we're not talking about the Sen. We're talking about HPI. So Michael says he's got 3 HPI Savage trucks. He's working on a third one. That's very cool. Midget Man says the RC Driver's Off-Road Camaro was super cool. It sure was. All right, so we're going to jump back here to the web. So here's what we had. So we had Hemi Storm did this really cool paint job on the Porsche, and he can paint like nobody's business, man. He did interior, everything. See the scale seats in there. Turned out sick. I think I'd mentioned some to him in one of his videos, just kind of about the issues that I was having with the steering. And there's other people that had mentioned it as well, and they had a lot of cars, and even HPI cars, and they just said the steering was just awful in this because of the way that the rocks get up underneath and get dropped right in and get locked up in there. So, but man, hats off to him. This blue chic, shock blue chic Porsche is just off the chain. So good looking. You guys like all my videolytics that I get here? That's because of TubeBuddy. It just shows up there. I think I can make it disappear somehow. Don't really need to see all that. There we go. But if you do want analytics on your videos and to be able to see what other people are doing, TubeBuddy. I've got a link for it in my description. And if you want to sign up for it and you use my link to get there, I get a month off or something, month free, or I don't know what I get. I get something from them. I don't know what. I've only got it like twice, 3 times maybe. So that was one of the builds. I loved it. Thought it was really cool. Then Greg came up with this crazy off-road Camaro, and I don't know how that thing did not lock up the steering like every second. Like he has run video footage of it. And I'm thinking, if that were my car, I'd have had to stop like every 3 seconds and shake the car and try and get the rocks out of the steering. But it didn't seem like he had the issues with it. So maybe these tires threw the rocks somewhere else. I don't know. But it's such a cool looking car, especially the Porsche one. That's why I wanted it, and I closed out the window. But yeah, Greg just did an awesome job with it. It actually reminds me of the off-road Lightning McQueen when he put on the off-road wheels, especially with this light bar on it. If it had like that paint job, like ka-chow, that's kind of what I think of when I look at this thing. All right, somebody got hidden from the channel. See how many of those we get tonight. So the other one was Photo Guy RC, who I'm not subscribed to, but I'll throw him a subscribe. This was pretty cool. I just found out about this through Hemi Storm's links, and I just found it. And he did this cool like drift car with his build off. That turned out really cool. And I think there's one other Mustang channel that was involved. But what we saw from HPI is this, that change is coming. And that they basically changed ownership, and they've got 50 plus years of experience and investment in the hobby. So it's a Scandinavian based company. And so I guess the change, is from like the black and white to color. I don't know what that image is and why it's 2 different cars and why they don't match up better than that. I don't know, but the graphics interesting. I find it interesting. But this was in June 28th, 2019 is when they made this announcement. It's Vestergaard Group's Danish headquarters. The new owners announced a new era for HPI Racing, which is awesome. Stable supply chain, excellent customer service. These are things that we want from HPI. And so that's really exciting. So then you go over to their Facebook page, and the last post is August 2nd. So almost a month later, and it says change is happening. But that's August, September, all of October pretty much is done. That's 3 months ago. If change is happening, start teasing us on your social media. Start making posts. You don't even have to have anything that you're showing, new stuff. Just talk about, send pictures of products that you already have as HPI or users photos, or do something that says, hey, we're alive. Because when this is your last post and it's, almost 3 months ago, I don't feel like change is happening as a consumer. And I want to know that change is happening. If I'm going to invest, when you do put products out on the market, I want to know that there's something behind that you're excited about it. This says to me, somebody bought a company and they're not interested in it. They post a couple of graphics and then say change is happening, and that's all they give us. 3 months ago, every week I would have been, if I just, took this and I want to get people excited about me owning this new company, I'd be investing in the social media marketing already of what's to come. And we're not getting that. So it feels like it's off to a bad start for me under new ownership. And one of the things that I always loved about HPI going back is they always had really cool graphics and things for their vehicles. They were like the ARRMA before there was, ARRMA's been around for 10 years, but in the beginning with the Raider and some of that, and they didn't have some of the bigger name stuff that they have now, HPI was the ARRMA of the RC industry. They were the basher to have, and they had cool graphics. They were edgy. They were, cutting edge. And then none of that now. So it's just kind of disappointing to me. If we want change, that's not the change that we want. We want them to keep that aspect of it. We want them to be the awesome graphics, high energy, well-run company that looks legit and has promise. And so, I don't know. It was weird to me that, there's this whole changes coming and then nothing came. And so that's why it's like, so where's the change? This feels like what HPI was the last 2 years where we got nothing. Are they going to sell to Traxxas? Are they allowed to sell to Traxxas? Is it a monopoly because all the bashers are now under Traxxas? And then there's just this void. And so they say they bought it and change is coming, but it feels like the same thing that's been happening the last 2 years. Anybody else feeling that? Or is it just me, from somebody that really wanted one of these to now being like, we'll have to see, are they going to be around? And I really want to have more companies in the mix, so it's not always two companies pitted against each other. So going back to some of the comments, Orange Crush is saying they need to hurry up. Rich Homan says the changes that they will not be updating any of the social media. That's what it feels like. RC Propaganda, I think things just take a little time. They do, but you know what? Good companies know how to manage that time and make people think that something's coming right around the corner. Speaking of that, ARRMA has something that they're not telling us about yet. It's not ready to actually release, but they're teasing us with it. HPI totally has the ability to do that. They could be even teasing us with old stuff like throwbacks or whatever. They do have some products on the market that you can still purchase. It's getting smaller and smaller, it seems like, by the day, and it's mostly on road, but be pushing that. Foundry says, HPI, where are my parts? I just want to be able to get parts. Well, you got to go to Rovin, I think, for those, if you're 1/5 scale. But, bring back the CUDA. So when you go back, I have a couple of pages here pulled up. Got to find out where I'm at. Yeah, so here, now it's really going to be hard for you guys to see this. I'll try and zoom in. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, the RS4 series, one of the very first electric touring car racers, the Nitro RS4, kickstarted the Nitro touring car movement. So they've got all these accolades that they tout of where they were. The Micro RS4 created the 1/18th scale car category. So these are like cool things. 1/18th scale monster truck category, the Savage, or the 1/8, sorry. The Baja 5B, the first popular large-scale 1/5 scale off-road vehicle. HB Cyclone, the IFMAR World Champion Touring Car, 2006. HBD8, IFMAR World Champion 1/8 Buggy, 2008. The Savage XS, the fastest mini monster truck in the world, 60 plus miles per hour, 65 plus. So they had all these cool things that were going for them. Sorry, guys, I need to cough really quick. RC Voodoo is here. Brad Kalman is here as well. Beetle Bailey. But what have you done for me lately, HPI? That's the question. What have they done lately? So they have all these things that they're interested in, and somebody was buying them because of this history and this past that they have. And they really do. I mean, when you talk about HPI, it usually stokes like good things. People talk about it. But the one thing you do here is like, if they just had part supports, they love the vehicles, but they want parts. So even, just flooding the market with some of the parts for the cars that they already had that people love would be awesome. Yeah, that's one thing that we're waiting for. So when you look at the cars, like this one to me is pretty cool. The RS4 Sport 3 Flux 4 GT. How cool does that look? 11 Charlie RC is in the house now. So here's some of the vehicles. So we've got the Ken Block Gymkhana, Savage XL Flux. So this is the one that I wanted. The Vorza Flux, those things were tanks. Trophy Buggy Flux, Trophy Truggy Flux. They had the Crawler King, the Wheelie King, the Venture, which was one of the coolest things when they came out with that. It was a really cool crawler. And then it just was like no part support for it. RC Propaganda saying he shelved his builder's kit because of parts. So, yeah, the Venture was such a cool thing, and the Toyota FJ line was just really cool. People were trying to do that already with New Bright stuff, and then they came out with it. Super cool. Then they had some of these like cheaper ones, like the Blitzes and all that. The Savage XS Flux here, which kind of like the Nitro Circus look to it. And then the Wheelie King, I still see these on the shelves at hobby stores, but not a lot else. So you do see, I guess you see these. You see the Ford Mustang. You see the Ken Block RTR. This Drifter sometimes you see, depends if they still have stock. Here's the one I got, the Sport 3 Flux Falcon, the Porsche. So they had a really cool lineup. And it could still be a cool lineup if they maintained it and kept it up. This one, though, this one's just super cool. But, I mean, if they change and they come out with even new stuff, more props to them. But, like, give us teasers. Show us, like, little glimpses of a tire or something new, a new arm that they're doing. Or don't even have to show all of it. Just something to get some attention that things are being worked on. Let us feel it. Get us excited for, oh my gosh, what are they going to do? Because we know what they have to compete with. And so the bar's already set pretty high. And so, I mean, hopefully they're going to hit that bar and be right up there with the big dogs again. And, but, tease us a little bit. I mean, don't give away your secrets, but, I want to see something, even if it's, shadowy images. Give us some conspiracy stuff. Yeah, so here's mine. I had the fail of the Falcon. I wanted an on-road car. I thought ready to run. You needed it to be. I mean, my driveway's not great, and I took it other places. I did the video here, but no matter where I took it, it just didn't drive well. Even if I blew it off with, I'd carry my steel gas-powered blower, and we'd try and clear the road. I mean, it couldn't take anything. If a piece of salt somehow found its way in there, the steering would jam. in this particular car. And I don't know if it's just the way that the wheel wells divert the stuff. I don't know. But I had nothing but issues. And actually one guy wrote a really long thing about it as well. That the Sport Edition car was built for bashing. It doesn't include a pro level component. The stock suspension isn't adjustable. He goes into a whole lot of stuff here with this thing, and then how it just doesn't perform. The steering issue, and all the different things that he tried to building rock flaps, he couldn't do anything to fix it. So this is one of the first and only cars that I'd sold at this point. Later, the Yeti I traded. But then it went for a long time again before I actually got rid of any cars. But this one, it didn't take long for me to get rid of it. I just never drove it because it was never a good experience. But yeah, I mean, I can go here and I can see all these like at A-Main Hobbies, and all of it's like in select stores. Now I could get a Savage XL Flux for $650, but it seems a little bit pricey at this point, given the parts support and knowing what else is out there. So until I know what's going on and that this is going to be supported in the future, not willing to really drop my money there. I would be maybe interested in trying my hand at the Ken Block one here, the Ford Mustang, but I don't know how interested. But the Baja, I do have one of the Bajas. I can go over here and show you guys my Baja. So this right here is my Baja turned into a sprint car, gas powered. You can see it here with the top off. It's just a HPI Baja with a bunch of upgrades to it and new fairing and all that. That makes it a really cool looking sprint car. So that's the one that I do have. So yeah, that's, and I love it. It's a great car. And for the price that they have it for a fifth scale, they run great. Everybody seems to be using them, and they make it into, all different type of oval racing cars, even the HPI Baja line. There's a bunch of guys that are running them. So it's really cool to see. So the Maverick was owned by HPI. So I just got a question about what about the Maverick? And so we saw that for a little while. In fact, that was the drift car. The first drift car I was going to get was on the Hobbytown website, and it kept saying it was coming, and then it never, ever came. And so here you can check for availability at Hobbytown, which is also A-Main does the website, so it looks very similar. But it's all click for availability. But I mean, like none of them, most of them are discontinued online. So if you don't have it in your store, then yeah, you're not going to have a chance of getting these. But the Maverick Drift, Maverick Strata, that's the one that I wanted. And I saw lots of videos of it, like in Europe and all that. And it wasn't showing up. Let me pull up here. This is the first drift car that I ever wanted to get. I think it's the Strata. Nope, that's not it. Maverick Drift RC. Let's pull it up here really quick for you guys. I'll tell you what it was. Yeah, it was a Strata. It was a Drift. So it was this one. It's going to be $145, and they had a brushless one for like $200, something like that. So that's what I was looking at getting in, and it's, an HPI one, and then it never showed up or was available for me to purchase there, and I waited for like 6 months for it. Tuga RC, have I ever had any issues overheating on my Baja? I haven't, but I haven't had it that long either, and mine has a lot of upgraded parts to it, so I don't know that I would. And we don't run them forever. We're doing oval tracks, so 5-10 minutes oval racing is what we're doing with it. RC Mask Master said the brushless are red. Yeah, I just did a quick pull up here. So, I mean, this is just kind of the questions that I have about HPI. I would love for them to make a big, strong comeback. I really do hope that they do. I would hope that they would already kind of be pushing some stuff to the consumer and getting them excited again, because we're forgetting about them. 2015 is a long time ago, and that's like the last that I really was feeling a lot of their videos. So let me just see RC, Sparks, HPI, and see when some of these videos are. 2012, 2015, 2016 was the X-Max versus HPI Savage. 2011, he has the FJ is 2017. So 2017, so that was, they were doing crawlers. We're starting to see that. But that was like 2 years after some of the other stuff, or a year after. But it's been a while, and I feel it. Like, I don't think about HPI that much anymore. Like, I used to always think about them. And so I just feel like they need to at least jump up to the times as far as marketing goes, because I think that's going to make... ARRMA has awesome marketing. Traxxas has awesome marketing. If they're going to want to compete, they need to be marketing already before they even think about dropping something into the market again. And doing teasers, and when they do start having something to show, they need to get stuff out there to get excitement building about it, because it's really waned, in my opinion. And there's also got to be, they do show here their changes coming, and then they show this distribution that they're going to have UK, Denmark, and then they've got like this distribution network with regional specialists and support for the Americas and Africa, all over the world, basically, is what they're showing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's jump back to the comments for a second. I've been talking for a long time. And let's see what the chat's saying. Foundry says the low C5B is the only car we have problems with heat. So the low C5B, so they're buggy. K-Sen says, I went to pre-order the Venture before release, but the TRX4 demo Defender stole my pre-order from them. Yeah, I feel like HPI should let us know on the HPI YouTube channel. Yeah, even if they just got their people in front of a camera and told us what they were thinking about doing, or what their plans were, would be awesome. They don't even have to show us a product, but give us something. I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but I just want to hear from them a little bit. Midget Man says he's got the... Let's try to find some more HPI ones here. I know that they had the really large scale fifth scale on-road car that was pretty popular too. So these are in April, but this is before the announcement that change is coming. So here it is. They were starting to get some stuff out again. I mean, such cool. They had Ken Block and Hoonigan stuff to be able to market, which is huge. See RC Basher Boy, what's going on, JTRC? It just feels like they need to jump back into this mode. They're talking about hitting 50K users here, which is cool. But again, feels like it's being lost. Had some stuff new for 19, some new releases. And then all of these are considered discontinued now if you go on any of the sites, at least the bashers here. This XS Flux here, that's the one I was looking at. If I go over to the the Horizon side, I think it was where I saw it, or here. the Savage Flux El Camino. That's what's new for 2019. And you click it and it says discontinued online. And so that was the new truck for this year. What's going on, Lucre? RC Master, who is going to be the new owner? We just talked about that. The new owner is Vestergaard Group's Danish headquarters. The new owners announced the new era of HPI Racing. Vestergaard Group, Scandinavian based. So I don't know exactly. It says they got 50 plus years expertise and investment in the hobby industry. And so they should be putting that, like, if HPI is a big deal to them having HPI and they've got that, industry knowledge already, I would hope that they would have some stuff to start pumping out for us, talking about. I know that if they're trying to design stuff brand new from the ground up, just take the name and slap it on something new. It's going to take, probably from design to launch is about 16 months. So if they're talking about change coming and all that, it makes me feel like they probably need to just do a refresh on some of the stuff that they've already got and just get parts out the door again and put them on the shelves again while they're building that stuff from the past. But yeah, you could tell I'm getting the cold again here. Foundry RC says HPI just needs to keep our hopes up. Every day that goes by with no info feels like they are no longer going forward. That's kind of, I guess that's the main, you've summed it up very well here. That since they're not talking, since they're not putting themselves out in front of us, it feels like they're going nowhere. Even though they say that they're going to be going somewhere, I just feel like they need to be like, throwing that fishing line out and just reeling it in real fast. Even if they don't have anything that they're willing to give us yet, they need to at least be tossing it in and reeling it back. Get it, teasing us. Now you can only do that for so long before we're not interested. But I would say at least once a month have something, and then periodically in that show some of the old stuff. Keep throwing the HPI name out there. So just out of curiosity, Orange Crush RC, search Facebook Marketplace for HPI. Within 60 miles of his place, there are tons of people that are selling it. Yeah, because they can't get parts for it. They're trying to offload it. So we could do that right now. I could go to my marketplace. I think. Can I do that? Here we go. Nope, that wasn't the button I wanted to hit. Why did I hit that? So let's go quickly to the marketplace and just kind of get an idea. I don't know what we're going to find for HPI here in my area. HPI Trophy Flux Buggy, Savage XL, 5.9 big block, the Drift Car, 50. Ooh, I might be interested in that actually. Savage Flux HP. That might be my chance to get into one. The Firestorm. These are axials, and we're getting away from that. Late model car though. So actually, here's a HPI. So they do these late models with them. There's some HPI Racing branding. Nice pipes for it. Got a little bit of Turtle Racing in there. So it's a little bit of an upgrade, but it's a HPI buggy chassis and a lot of the parts coming from that lineup. So you guys didn't see any of that. So on here are all the ones, the Trophy Flux, Savage, the Drift Car, the Flux, and then I was pointing out this late model here, which is based on the 5B. Hate when I do that, when I don't switch over the screen like I need to. Midget Man says he lives like an hour from Virginia Beach and want to go to the track you race because I live in North Carolina. Yeah, man, it's in Hertford. It's right by you probably then. If you're an hour from Virginia Beach, in North Carolina. It'd be very close. Yeah, Michael Lucre says for HPI to get back into the market, they're going to need to pick their game up big time with Horizon smashing it of recent. That's what I'm saying. Like, so they used to be the ARRMA. Well, now ARRMA is with Horizon, and then they've got the big, the 10-foot gorilla, or I don't know whatever the thing is, but they've got the, the elephant in the room of Traxxas that they've also got to try and conquer if they want to keep up. And so they did a pretty good job of it, for a long time. And then, I don't know what happened in that mix. I know that the three brands, HPI Racing, HPI, and HB, kind of split up, that three different companies. I don't know if they were sold off differently or what, but, Traxxas was looking to buy, and it just got kind of crazy. So, and then it just disappeared. It's crazy. Yeah, Luke Ray, who's that guy? Steve is in the house as well. Garrett Bedell says he is the baddest savage ever made sitting in his back room. My buddy needs to buy a motor mount and the idler gear, and it's probably be unbelievable. Beadlocks are probably worth 120 used. Wow. Anyway, so that's just a quick look. I wanted to talk about that. The other stuff that's in the news, speaking of them, is ARRMA RC. If you go over to ARRMA's website, they have a nice counter on here, which has some cool graphics behind it that looks like you see on some of their cars. And they're letting us know that in 23 days, 12 hours, 38 minutes, and 50 seconds, something big is coming. It doesn't say something big, but they've teased that in other areas to let us know that something big is coming. Or at least that's what they want us to believe. Could be that 1/16th E-Revo killer that everybody's not been asking for as well. I digress. No, I really believe something big's coming, and so I'm excited about whatever it's going to be. They've had a killer year over at ARRMA. They've released some really cool products, and they've just really made RC a lot of fun for a lot of people this year. Also really expensive for a lot of people, but yeah, nothing's cheap, especially fun, I guess, these days, right? JT says nitro car, maybe. Ha, not a chance. They know that's not any fun. They know that. Luke Ray's telling RC tanks and trucks 24/7 to stick to tanks. All right. Jack, Epic RC Productions is in the house. Good day, mate. Peter RC Basher says it's the granite top. That's what he's saying the graphics look like, is the granite top. It also looks like just a grayscale version of the Infraction. A lot of their cars have that kind of urban camo look to them. But I know it definitely is on the top of the granite for sure. And I think it used to be on some of the older like Creightons and stuff before the newer ones. But yeah, definitely you see it on the granite. I was trying to pull one of them up. Granite 4x4. So yeah, when you look at the top of these, on the Gigasite, you kind of get that look. If we're going to get a shot of it. None of the shots are going to show it. That would just be my luck. Yeah, there was none. I suck. And it's not going to really show it in the blue. But take Peter's word for it. I think it was Peter RC Basher. RC Master says, that's really tough to say when your mouth is really dry. He says that RC companies should not buy other companies. They should support each other's passions like we do. Maybe we could lend them money to help them get on their feet and have shares for limited time. Bobake Altered RC says, telling you, ARMA drone inside tip. An ARMA drone or a boat. JT says it's a scooter. That'd be hilarious. A Raider BLX XL 1/5 scale. That would be interesting, actually. If they brought the Raider back as a 5th scale electric 2-wheel drive to compete with the HPI Baja, game over. Not really. People like their gas stuff. Epic saying good day to Kagan. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys have any other thoughts on HPI? Because I think there's still something there that they can salvage. I really believe it. But it's not easy. It's not going to be easy road ahead. Other news that we've heard is that T-Bone Racing has a Maximus front bumper for the Traxxas Maxx. And the blue looks all right. I mean, I never buy blue plastic stuff, I'll be honest. All the RPM stuff that's in blue, I just do black. So this does come in black, which is good. Black, red, and blue. But it looks all right. It mounts around the bumper, or it mounts around the light kit, which would have been nice for mine. Give it a little protection from the scrapage that it now has on it. I don't know about these ends here on it. Those feel like they're really going to get, as much as this thing rolls and tumbles, those are going to be tearing up yards like crazy, I think. They're like shovels on there. RC Propaganda says blue is a no-go. They got black. It's all right. Midget Man says, I think HPI had a good run, but IDK, I don't know. Epic RC Video Productions, green. I would do green. I like green. Green and black. Yeah, it's a shovel bumper, man. It's got dual shovels on each side. My yard's going to be so torn. I ran that thing again today, the Max, because a couple reasons. I got a Creighton 4S in, so I can get a little bit of a comparison, because I definitely like the 6S Outcast more than the Max. Any day of the week at this point. In my short time with both of them, I've had both of them for about 3 weeks now, that I've really been able to run them. And the control is just so much better with the Outcast. It doesn't roll all the time like the Max does. And it just, I don't know, there's something better about it as far as control. In the air, on the ground, it's just enjoyable. That said, it's not as durable, I don't think, as the Max is. The Max is just stupid durable. But it has to be, because it crashes a lot. Now, I took it back because there was water in the tires when I did that one about bashing gone wrong, or whatever I called it. And so I took it out and I did better. I definitely landed it straighter most of the time. Still trouble front flipping it, gets all kind of crazy. Back flipping, I would nosedive it, or not nosedive it completely, but those big airs, the front end hits and digs into the grass and just chunks up, and it makes it come to a complete stop because of the chassis hitting so hard. And so that can't be good on the the diff gears, I wouldn't think, because everything's coming to a complete stop. It's not like hitting and rolling away. It's and like it's stopped, or it spins. So yeah, I went back and I was trying to do front flips with this because of how easy it was to do with the Outcast. I try cars like with the Granite. It's not even as easy to do as the Outcast, the front flips. But I like to try it with all of them and see how they kind of flip in the air. Now, the Outcast, how's the battery set up? Those are stacked. Yeah, they're stacked. So you got a lot of weight on one side. So it is kind of crazy that it does fly so well. Anyway, yeah, so there's that, which is interesting. But I have the Creighton coming, so I can do it like the 4S versus 4S kind of competition. But price point, they're both the same with the 6S and this 4S, and I just like the Outcast better. So that's just my personal opinion. It doesn't mean the Max is bad. I still think the Max is a terrific truck. But given the choice with that money in my pocket, I'd probably either save for the X-Max or I'd go with the Outcast. But that's getting off topic. We're done now kind of with the HPI stuff. We'll kind of recap at the end. And then the last thing was that there's a shakeup a little bit at Air Age Media. They've got new leadership with the RC Car Action brand. So, yeah, so they've got new, editor here, associate publisher. He's going to oversee the, Lee Granieri. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah. Anyway, that was just interesting. You got Kevin Hetmansky still there, so that's good. But that was just something I noticed. It popped up, so it's October 23rd, but I didn't catch it till about 3 days ago, I think I saw, so I was a couple days behind. But yeah, overall, guys, going back, the first thing I just want to point out is the Operation 11 Charlie raffle. If you guys want to check that out, you can go to the link here that I'm posting in the podcast. I posted down in the description. But really cool what they're doing there for the veterans, but they're doing this raffle as well as a way to earn some money for their veteran car builds that they're doing, where they're giving away crawlers and stuff to veterans who are coming back, and they're struggling with kind of getting back into life, with their families and all that. And so it just gives them an outlet, which is so cool. The other thing, guys, again, be sure check out the Teespring store that we've got going on. We've got t-shirts, stickers, all that kind of stuff, from monster truck stuff to CCxRC, RC Conspiracies, all of the above. And then be sure to, again, if you're into podcasts, we do this as a podcast. So if you miss this live stream, you could just listen to it while you're driving to work or whatever. You don't have to kill your battery having the video playing. And so that's why we do it as a podcast, as well as I've got the new podcast I've just started called While My Batteries Charge. And that's going to be just a shorter behind the scenes kind of look at things. I've got 2 of them posted now. There's already 2 episodes of this podcast. And while my battery's charged, I just sit here at this microphone and talk about the first time about my Cloudbuster lineup and how I got into those. And then the second one was about, what did I talk about in the second one? Oh, projects, RC projects, like the RC projects that never seem to end, like my Tamiya Grand Hauler project that you guys had no faith in me. I swear, you guys had no faith in me that I would ever finish that. I know it. I didn't actually have faith that I would finish it either. But if you haven't seen it, there is proof of it over on my Instagram page, which we'll pull up right now. So here's my Outcast. Where is that? It's up here. Oh, I still need to do this video here about the new Samson body. Oh, yeah, here. So here is my truck. It's done. It's driving. And it has sound effects, all that. The lights, everything works great. Even when I thought it wasn't working, turns out it was working properly. And so I actually have some driving footage of that as well. Here, just a short video of it driving around. Sounds and all. But I picked up something new, a new project as well that I have to work on, which is going to be the Happy Toys from Maximum Overdrive, like the Green Goblin looking truck. You can see here, 3D printed. Now, I don't understand exactly, and this is one of the things I do mention in the other podcast, but so I got this from a guy named Matthew Hall, who does a ton of really cool monster truck builds. In fact, he did, I think, 2 of my Cloudbusters kind of went through his hands at one point, as well as the Hulk one that I had that became Snakebite. But he had this, and I traded him my SMT10 for it. So I got the trailer and the Grand Hauler, but he bought this Shapeways built body. It's a Peterbilt, but it doesn't actually look like the maximum overdrive truck. So and it doesn't have any lights and there's no windows. So I'm kind of tempted to just buy a King Hauler black and put this on the front of it, paint it all up right. And it's going to be shorter base and it's going to work. But the trailer on this is done. It was part of the trade. I mean, check that out. Now, if it wanted to be legit, and so again, I think he was doing his own take on it, because if you look in close and you go to my Instagram or Facebook, he's got like the spiked tires on it, like the wheels or the rims that have the little spikes for the nuts going all the way around, which is cool. But these aren't blacked out, and the rim, the edges of the truck, all the framing should be blacked out, as well as the fenders and all of this. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead and black all that out, or if I'm going to leave it in case I want to go more standard. I don't know how many instances I'll have for driving around a maximum overdrive in videos and stuff. I don't know. Maybe. I don't want it to be too shelf queenish, though. I want it to be something I'll be able to drive and use. But I'd use the Happy Toys regardless as just a trailer, even if I put it on the other truck, which I did, and I have video of it. And it looks really cool. I think I posted that too. Yeah. You guys are getting all the behind the scenes stuff on this one. How'd that work out? Oh. How sick is that? It's so huge too. So we went out trailing on Saturday with my buddy Peter. Spectrum's got a new controller that they're showing off, the orange one, which I've been waiting so long for. In fact, I went and just painted all over mine because I was tired of it just being straight black and I wanted orange on it. And so it's like pull up here for the trigger, and fix me is where the tools are. So hold where you put your hand, hold on. And just being ridiculous with it when I was already out labeling my other controllers. So anyway, Sean's RC Adventure says that's an awesome trade. It really was an awesome trade. And I'm super excited about finishing it. Super excited. Sen, I have the Sen here, the Reaper, aka HPI Savage XL Flux, dropped it like a red-headed stepchild. So we don't have the Sen. We have the American Force Reaper here. So we do have the Reaper, and they just started stocking those again here. And I think you're going to start seeing stock of those again as well. So that's for Lucre, who is asking about the Sen Reaper. So yeah. Bucks RC World says the RC Conspiracy banner looks awesome. It does cover up some stuff back there, which is nice. I have just like a bunch of rolls of vinyl and stuff on that. Kind of makes it clean up a little bit. And I bought it just to test it and see how it looked, and it's huge. So anyway, well, thanks guys for tuning in again to another RC Conspiracies. Some of these aren't going to be conspiracies because there's not always going to be RC conspiracies out there. Some of it will be kind of like news updates. This is kind of like conspiracy, like what happened, and you know what we'd like to see. We want to see more from HPI if they're going to tease us about changes happening. What did they say exactly again? I keep forgetting. Changes coming, and then changes here. I don't know what it was, but they were saying something about the change that's taking place, and I want to see it. I want them to be teasing us about it. I want to hear from them that things are coming because they say change is happening. So 11 Charlie RC, he's saying always fun, guys. It is always fun, man. Thanks for tuning in. Before this show, guys, every Monday, 11 Charlie RC has a live as well. And so they have a panel of people in there. It's a really great talk. It's about his veteran builds and stuff like that. But should definitely check it out. Foundry RC, thank you so much, man. Brad, good to see you in here again as well. You guys, hit the like button if you like these RC conspiracies. I'm going to try and keep them going as much as I can. It's definitely a lot of extra work to do it, but it's worth it, I think. And so I think that's YouTube in general, and that's why we've got the other podcasts to just kind of talk through stuff like that. Because keeping up and maintaining is definitely, it becomes tiresome. And you guys definitely energize. So even when I don't feel like I'm ready, when I start seeing people saying, hey, it's 9:30, where you at? It's energizing to say, all right, let's do this. Let's get it on. Game face time. So again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hit the bell if you want to get notifications for when these do actually go live. Plus, I always try and post at least an hour ahead of time that it's going to be happening. And so you keep an eye out for that as well. And it'll let you know what the topic is about if you want to get a little bit of research in ahead of time. So thanks for tuning in. Have fun RCing. We'll catch you next time, guys. Bucks RC World says, got to do these streams all day, Tony. They're awesome. I don't know that I could talk that long. What am I kidding? I probably could. I need to have a lot of Coke Zero and water, though, because my mouth is dry by the time these are done. All right, we'll catch you guys later.